this next one that we have is with the Pax8 Award here, and it's the Pax8 Partner of the Year Award. And just with some travel things that were going on, we had to pre-record that, and so Jason, if you can roll the video for this great insights. We are thrilled here on this event to have both Josh and William here, and Josh is from Pax8. Josh Hoffman, he is an account executive at Pax8, and with the MSP Titans Awards, we had the Outstanding Pax8 Partner of the Year, William Kapes. Josh, I'm going to start with you here. Talk a little bit about Pax8 for those who don't know Pax8, not familiar with, and then talk a little bit about your award here that we gave out at the MSP Titans Awards Gala.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff, for having me on. William, great to see you again. Pax8 is a born in the cloud distributor. We were founded back in 2012. We don't do too well with things that you put in a box and ship out, right? There are other places for that. But when it comes to cloud software, we are working to aggregate, and that's really through education and enablement of our partner community, right? So founded in 2012, when I joined, there were, I don't know, maybe 15 vendors and probably 3,000 partners. Today, we're knocking on the door of 40,000 partners, building out our ecosystem. And I think we're gonna have close to 140 vendors, probably by Beyond, which is our flagship event next June. But it's been an exciting time. I'm fortunate to work with a smaller subset of partners that bring in a larger portion of our revenue at Pax8, such as Integritek, right, with William. My role has kind of evolved over time, right? We started off where I was involved with cold calling, and I had the Midwest region, and selling cloud to MSPs in the Midwest 6 years ago was not always an easy feat. But we'll get into a little bit more, but obviously the cloud focused and progressive MSP partners that aligned with us early on, like Integritek, have helped to get us where we are today, right? And now we've got a global presence, I think, in 9 different countries, and it's been really exciting.
So talk a little bit about this brand new award, the Outstanding Pax8 Partner of the Year. Kind of what is this award? What was the criteria of this of going into this to put together this award, and how did you choose the winner on that?
Absolutely. It was a tall task, right? It wasn't easy to choose. We're fortunate to have so many amazing partners across the ecosystem. But I think the finalists, right? We wanted to recognize a number of partners overall, and then it was hard to choose just one from there. But the finalists, again, aligned with our mantra of being a change maker, right? Being, maybe a disruptor. And what that really means is adopting managed services, adopting cloud, and more specifically, Microsoft Cloud earlier than most, right? When in a time when a lot of folks were still working break fix, or, maybe more of a transactional hardware deployment, right? Where these folks that ended up being finalists really adopted that full cloud first strategy, and have only expanded on that, right? So, it's no secret, Microsoft was one of our largest vendors early on. Now, as we've grown the line card, a lot of our best partners have grown their stack in tandem with that, right? We're not going to always say, tell partners what to choose, but we are going to make sure that our line card has MSP focused solutions that are easy to roll out, easy to deploy, and then easy for partners to build.
So talk about Integritek. Integritek here was the winner of your first inaugural of this award. So talk about that and introduce William here to everyone out in the audience.
Integritek has been an amazing partner, and I've been fortunate to work with them for about 3 years. William has been, my rock, if you will, over there, has always been a steady point of contact. It's really been a true two-way partnership. I think in the value that each part delivers, right, on either side. William has been familiar with Pax8 longer than I have, right? with his previous venture that signed up, I want to say in 2017. They've grown organically, right, through that kind of forward-thinking approach, which also led them to grow by acquisition, right, once they hit that critical mass. And I'll let him share a little bit more about that. But yeah, he's always, trying to embrace more of our education, coming out to our events, things like boot camps, mission briefings, and just really, going above and beyond from a Pax8 partner perspective.
Yeah, well, congratulations, William, on this. What's amazing on this of what I was just hearing that Josh say a few minutes ago is that with 40,000 partners and you were picked here as number one here out of those 40,000 partners. So pretty amazing accomplishment.
Oh yeah, it was the whole event was sort of surreal. We've Josh said, we've been a Pax8 partner for a long time, and you know, I think we certainly value, and have gotten a lot of value out of being a Pax8 partner. So that's certainly not new. This, the award and the gala and everything, was just kind of an amazing whole process and event. Certainly unlike anything I've experienced being in the industry for over 20 years. In this space, this was kind of new and special, I think is a good way to say it.
So tell me a little bit about Integritek of how large is your team? I know you service, I believe, in the Seattle market. I'm not sure if you go outside of that market as well. So just tell us just a little bit about Integritek, a little bit of background.
Yeah, so Integritek is, as MSP as an MSP can get. Our managed service provider. We service all industries. Our headquarters are based out of Austin, Texas, and we
Okay.
have offices in Austin, Dallas, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and Los Angeles, California. I actually came from an MSP, originally out of LA, and we came to Integritek over 5 years ago through acquisition. We are part of the Lyra Technology Group, so we're a relatively large PE backed group. So I think there's like over 80 something MSPs in the portfolio. So it's an interesting thing because we obviously, on the day-to-day basis, we have our team and our clients that we service, but we're also part of a much larger ecosystem. So you almost think of it as like a large peer group. We have a lot of other MSPs in sometimes same parts of the country, all over the country, international at this point, that we draw upon for best practices, working with vendors, just sometimes somebody to ask questions of, that you're going to get a good answer, has been really great. That being part of that kind of family. It's evolved over time. But Pax8 is been a partner, as Josh said, I, through various, corporate banners that I've been under, have been a Pax8 partner for a long time. And that, relationship has just grown over time. We've certainly leveraged more, products out of the Pax8 catalog, and, we rely on our Pax8 account teams, not just Josh, but we have like a whole team that, in times, sometimes I just send a message. I'm like, hey, I don't know what this is. Can you get somebody to like explain it to me like I'm a child? And and they happily do it. And it has really enhanced our business, helped us service our clients and make sure we're giving them the best, solutions, and even just best practices on the things maybe we're already doing. Being able to have, subject matter experts to draw upon has been invaluable.
So it sounds like Integritek over the years has really grown tremendously. What do you see? I mean, you're the director of technical operations for Integritek. What have you seen from your role within the business as the biggest drivers in growth that someone listening in right now could take away and take and implement in their business?
Yeah, I mean, that changes over time, which is what I think would be expected because we're in the technology business, so it shouldn't be stagnant. So like we really early adopted a cloud first mentality and did a lot of work to like move clients, get rid of on-prem infrastructure, move things into, things like SharePoint and go full 365, for everything. Leveraging SaaS apps. So we have, not had clients with, mail servers or, many servers. I think at this point, over half of our clients have no on-premise infrastructure. We really pushed cloud. Now the big push, now that a lot of clients have already done that transition, And for everybody, the big push is really security, right? Like security is for the industry, the MSP industry is growing. The cybersecurity portion of the industry is growing much faster. So it's just in your best interest from a business perspective to really, look at security and what you're doing. But also at this point, it's just the right thing to do to take care of your clients, to make sure that their data, especially data that's living in the cloud, is secure. Because, the nobody has to break into your office or, go through your stuff. It's publicly accessible if you can get through the door. And so really security is the way everybody has to kind of think, first. And there's just unfortunately a lot of bad actors out there, trying to knock on doors. And a lot of SMBs don't think that they're a target. They hear about, Chase or some, large multinational corporation, but the number of attacks on small businesses really go underreported. And everybody thinks I'm too small, it can't happen to me. And it's incumbent upon us to really have that conversation with our clients to make sure they understand, like, we want to protect their business, right? If their business goes under, it's bad for them and it's bad for us. Having our strategies and values aligned makes everybody's life better.
A big part of the success was early on really doubling down on the cloud infrastructure business and focusing on customers that get it and get that that's where they need to go, so that you could take your expertise as a company and to be able to drive that and be able to drive more value, because you're not trying to be a jack of all trades of, well, hey, I can do it in the server closet or I can do it in the cloud, of just saying, hey, you know what? We're going to make sure that we're really good and educate you. If you need the education, we need to educate you on why cloud infrastructure is going to be your best long-term strategy of where to go. And then you took it as a company there. And then that evolved into the security piece of it, because that's just the natural place that you have to, because especially if you're in the cloud, you can't just lock the doors and make sure no one gets in.
Yeah. And the move to cloud, and really this goes for kind of everything when you're dealing with clients, and to be a good partner, for your clients, it's about understanding what are their business goals, right? At the end of the day, it's not about getting technology, right? I mean, technology is great. That's certainly why I'm in the space. But it's really about how do we enable their business goals, right? And mitigate their risks. And so sometimes that's not just like, hey, we can take your thing and move it into the cloud as is. It's like, all right, how are you operating? Like, how do you process orders? How do you go through your day? How can we use technology to make that more efficient, make it more cost effective, really give them a better experience for them doing their work, right? Like, our work is pushing buttons, right? Like, that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. But that's not what most of our clients do. Like, they need to sell their widgets, or they need whatever their business happens to be. Our role is to help them do that better.
I like the synergies that come right between my role and my MSPs, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Hey, you want to get from 5 to 7.5 million? Well, okay, I want to understand, like, what does that goal look like? What are the strategies to get there? You want to deploy maybe a new greenfield solution that you haven't dealt with before? Great, we're going to hold your hand, help you onboard it. And then also, in the same way that our MSPs want their customers to buy all of their technology through them, right? They don't want them to get their 365 from them, but then go elsewhere for security. That's the same mantra we're trying to do. We want to be the MSP for MSPs, if you will, where, hey, we want you to get all of your cloud services through us, and we're going to give you good reasons for that, the service delivery and the business alignment side.
So just one thing that was, was interesting of what William talked about, and Josh, if you can elaborate on this a little bit, because I think this is important. William talked about of how it's not just a single person, it's not a single account executive that he's dealing with. He's got a team at Pax8. So maybe, and Josh, it could be you, but William, you can always elaborate on this as well. Like, how does that work? Where's the benefit for the MSP, and kind of what do you get out of that overall? So maybe Josh, start with you of how that structure is in place, and then William, you can elaborate a little bit about how your team really utilizes that.
Absolutely. So right around the time of the pandemic, we call it a hub and spoke model, if you will, where there is a central account executive And then we have solutions consultants around them, right, to serve, that are all dedicated to partners like Integritek. The reason for that is because our line card has grown so much, right? My line is always, I'm the guy that knows a little bit about a lot of things, and then I can get you the smart folks when we need to dig deeper, right? So we've got 7 different solutions consultants. I think it's probably over 60 years of Pax8 experience dedicated to Integritek. That's one for 365, Azure, AWS, backup, security, operational tools for MSPs, and then a network and communications. So really, that's the full comprehensive team. And William, maybe you can tell me how those help you out.
Oh yeah, so it's, I mean, as Josh said, it's really, you can go deep with your Pax8 team on a specific thing. So maybe it's a tool you're already using, you've already gotten from Pax8, you're already doing, but you go like, hey, am I doing this the best way? Am I, what am I not taking advantage of? And really going into, or hey, I'm thinking about, here's the thing, we don't have a solution for this particular space. What do you have? I mean, I've often told people, like, the first thing I do when I'm looking for a new tool that, maybe we identify a hole in our offerings to our clients. We say, all right, I'm going to reach out to Pax8 and go, what do you have that fills this space? And they may have 1, 2, 3 options, it depends. And it's like, all right, let's go through them. What do you guys recommend? Why? What are other partners doing? So I can get some, like, kind of market research done right off the bat. I do tend to start with, like, is this available through Pax8? Just because the benefit of the support I get from our team. Also, the billing, so many MSPs I talk to, like, don't have their costing and billing really under control. And that's super important to make sure that your budgets are correct, that your which client is profitable and all that. If you don't have your billing dialed in your PSA, you don't know that. You're guessing. So having all of our billing sync correctly into our PSA every month really is important. And it really makes a huge difference to us. So to me, just the fact that a product is available in the Pax8 catalog makes it more valuable.
Yeah, and you've got how many different products now is it up to, Josh?
So I'm gonna go safe and conservative, say 120 right now.
All right.
But growing literally every month. And then I'm in a unique position. Again, I'm happy that I'm not beholden to one vendor. I can say, hey, here's where this wins, here's where it loses. Also, there's these other 3 options, and you might want to check them out too. And if I had a superpower quote, maybe it would be being a consultant, right? If none of them are a fit, I'm going to be straight up with partners. Why am I going to sully a relationship trying to push something that is not good, um, for one opportunity?
All right. Well, I'm flashing here that we're just about out of time. William, congratulations again. I love your quote on LinkedIn that you said around this, that all of us nerds could get all dressed up there, and so happy to be able to get y'all dressed up so that you could get this award and be recognized. It really is that's a big thing of what the Titans Awards were, is to make sure that MSPs who don't get recognized many times really get the recognition that they deserve. And congratulations for all that you've done to be able to get to this point.
Oh, thank you so much, Jeff. Like I said, it was a slightly surreal event. I have tremendous fortune that I get to go to a number of industry events throughout the year, but this one was just kind of unique and special. Just the energy around it. Everybody kind of treating it like, hey, this is good to recognize each other. There's a lot of people in the MSP space that do a lot of good work. And not everybody, sometimes we spend a good amount of our time dealing with clients who maybe aren't so happy, and or we're trying to convince them why they need to, do something. But, just kind of getting a really good, having a lovely evening where we're all kind of there saying like, hey, everybody in that room, like, does a great job. Like, I was going to use some language I shouldn't use. So but yeah, it's just being able to say like, hey, you guys, everybody, because I'm fortunate. I knew a number of people that were on a number of the awards from having been in the industry so long, and just from what I know of those people individually, I go, yeah, these are like the best out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. It was such a great experience. I hope we get to be a part of it again. So.
All right. Well, excellent. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, William. You have a great one.